the government right now. There is complete budget cut across all departments. And if we are supposed to rely only on the government, will you really perform as an elected leader? Then you must first bend. You must bend one side to the non-government organization in order to tap some projects to implement the part that the government is failing to do. Because we move one on one. Now for the government itself, I am a very strong supporter of the government, but I want to say this. The government must get back and revisit our budget. It is not about adding tax on people. Now I already get a whisper that tax is going to be put on, they are going to replace number plates, including mine. When you look at the local revenue I have as Tata Division, and you tell me to put a number plate of 800,000 to replace the one the government has given me, where do you want me to get that money from? Is it putting tax on people or looking for ways how we can adjust here and there? We need to adjust. There are certain budgets that are too abnormal. I am saying under security, under State House, let us try to see how we can slash some of those and bring them. When you slash the one of security, slash the one of State House and bring to agriculture, what is wrong with that? I'm talking as Jackie. Very local down. Place to go to parliament, that is the language I would speak. But I've never got that chance. Slash State House, slash security, bring it to agriculture rather than cutting it. Security is good, I know I'm benefiting from it. But the budget is too abnormal. It is too much. Let them cut even 15% from that one. The other one also and bring to agriculture. Then we move. Even the president needs food. The ministers need food. Do they have time to go to the garden? They don't have. Because they only buy food. And with this climate change, it would have been a benefit to a farmer. But now if the farmer loses the little he or she has, then it will be a different story. You can have money, but if you have money and there is no food, what will you buy? Even if you are talking of eating chips, it is from the garden. That is Irish potatoes. Whether it is in a supermarket, even if you talk of soya bean, it is from the farmer down in a certain village in this country.
It's on record, there's no grant that comes to municipalities to manage environment and natural resources. Now, how do we move on this? Honorable Jackie mentioned it. Relying on locally raised revenues is the biggest challenge at local levels of the administrative units. You'll find you are struggling with, the municipal council has passed a budget of 7 billion shillings for this financial year. Out of the 7 billion shillings, you find 5 billion is for wage. Now, 2 billion shillings is for development, for service delivery. What do you do with the 2 billion shillings in 12 months? These are challenges that are very critical, and some of us who are technical, when you don't have tools of work, what do? You can be a very good surgeon, but when you go to the theater, you don't have sutures, you don't have surgical blades. What do? You can lose your patient on the the theater table. These are the challenges we have now currently. So we want to appeal to entities like Action Aid, because you know now, even in the urban authorities, we have challenges of financing. Your outlook used to be like more challenges of poverty are in the rural sub-counties and settings. Rural poverty, urban poverty is even more critical, is more difficult. When you are poor in the urban areas, you are in a more complex situation than the rural. Because here, you don't have anything which is almost free. But out there, you can struggle and some shrubs here and there, and you have some food. So we are struggling.
The ultimate is poverty. I quote Mandela that fighting poverty, it's not an act of charity, but an act of justice. See, everywhere where poverty is, just know it is constructed by man. By man. So to address it, we need to come even to approach the power centers. The power centers. So poverty has also largely contributed to this. So we shouldn't celebrate that these big floods that happen in Zimbabwe, Mozambique, they cannot reach here. They start small. Here in Pakwachi, the Jonam area, we've seen how floods come and they cover a school. Children stop because the schools are submerged. I was in Bunyoro. There is an entire health center, entire community that was submerged by the floods from Lake Albert. And it took months and months for them to dry. And these are seasonal what? So these are indicators that we need to act now. We have forced migration. Forced migration. According to the World Bank report, by 2050, they expect 215 million people to be forcefully displaced within their own communities because of climate change induced impacts. We have disruptions in service delivery. Here I can use local examples. You know what happened last year during the rainy seasons in West Nile, all roads, how they were affected. Now you just imagine this Pubidi bridge here, I don't know the exact name, it was cut off. So the other community was cut off from health services here in the town. So we say disruption in terms of service delivery. I'm talking about the cancer, what we call climate change, and the need to spearhead climate justice.
We are aware that in Uganda, agriculture contributes 25% to our national GDP and employs 70% of the population. And the sector provides great avenue for economic growth and economic inclusion, particularly from women and youth. And women take 55% of that economically active population and contributing 75% to the total farm labor and over 90% farm labor processing operations. Despite the vast contribution, they are being challenged by climate change. And climate change is the biggest threat currently and globally. A case in point, smallholder farmers. Their contribution to climate change is very minimal compared to other actors, like the major factors: burning of fossil oil, which contributes over 50%